Eastbourne Town is anti-fascistic. Eastbourne Town is anti-fascistic.
Tony, you're ruining my 5 minutes of fame, mate. Shut the fuck up. The hardest bloke in Eastbourne. We have taken the term ultras because we act like ultras, but our beliefs are totally different. You associate ultras with violence. There's quite a few far-right kind of fascist ultras on the continent. Beachy Head Ultras is like Beachy Head's so just a cliff up like on the downs, so that's a joke in itself. The name Pier Pressure is built on a pun. Like the whole thing is massively tongue-in-cheek.
The amount of support a club at our level and of our size would generally expect to attract sort of one man and his dog.
So we're a fair way down the pyramid, 5 or 6 steps away from sort of professional league. We're the oldest senior football club in Sussex, so you know we started before Brighton and before all the much bigger clubs now. I suppose in global terms we're a small team, so I don't think we would compare to a Glasgow or a Newcastle or a Manchester as a hotbed of football.
Right at the very start, it was a group of local boys that all had tickets at other teams and just become annoyed with the length it took to get to games, how expensive it was. So it's just grown from people being disgruntled, like a lot of people are with Premier League and Championship football, and the cost of going to a game like that. So it was like £150 day out to go to a football match, whereas here you can come for £6. And once they realised that, it just grew. They started bringing their friends. It gets to like 50 or 60 people at a home game. Sometimes we take coaches to away games. We fill a coach sometimes for a big FA Vars game.
People would tell friends, bring along a friend, then they'd realise that it's a different sort of style of supporting a football club than they were maybe used to or they'd expected. It's a much more sort of personal level of football. Everyone can see who's saying what.
The rowdiness is the front of it from afar. If you come and speak to anybody that's involved in it, we'd let anybody come and join us.
From the outside, I think there's a mixture of just sort of dyed-in-the-wool football people who perhaps a generation or half a generation ago would have probably gone to watch, you know, a Premiership team. So it just became a bit of a, I suppose, a melting pot really, of all those little strands coming together, and bit by bit they grew in numbers.
The differences between non-league and the Premier League, the obvious one is the standard of football. But you take that and you look at the game that's going to happen today, it's going to be a competitive game because it's a similar ability. So you don't lose the competitive aspect of the Premier League game. There's a lot less people, but that's what Pier Pressure tried to create, was an atmosphere at a lower level to make it as exciting and as fun as the Premier League.
Give me a bang! We are the bastards from Beachy Head! Stay behind afterwards for a little bit, please do so, and we'll do a presentation on the pitch at the end of the match today.
Being a woman watching football, I feel my opinion is valued by other people, and that I'm a lot more vocal about the play of games, whereas previously, for a very long time, I felt that it wasn't. Yeah.
It's all about including absolutely everyone. We've got banners involving like no homophobia, racism, sexism, sing songs about it.
Eastbourne Town is anti-fascistic!
Typically Eastbourne is a small C conservative place, and obviously Peer Pressure aren't that. They've come in with a noise and a vigour and a youth that's very different.
When the chips are down and we need something, they are a godsend. towards the end of the game, they're right there with us chanting and singing. You know, last minute goals, 97th minute winners, and it just all kicks off. The players run straight to them, into them, and they're all jumping all over them. It's a sight to see.
Because
played for a couple of teams in higher level and you get bigger crowds, but it don't feel as big as when you're down here.
go on.
It's because of the noise they make, you know, the drums, the flares, you know, that's all part of it. When I had my hair cut from one of them, he said, "Oh, do you know what you got yourself into?"
Champions, you're having it up. Champions, you're having it up. Champions.
We were just so surprised about what was going on under our noses, and I didn't know whether to watch Peer Pressure or to watch the football.
A lot of the players love it. Some of them are signed purely because of the crowd. You know, we average the highest in the league, and yeah, it makes it worthwhile when people are coming to watch you play.
We took our coach up. It's about 50 of us, 60 of us. We had parway before the game, had a march to the grounds, which is I've never seen that before, let alone being part of. The atmosphere it's not going to a Premiership game.
You love the town. Fucking hell.
Sounds corny to talk about characters, but you do tend to find individuals who probably either couldn't or wouldn't take a full part in professional football, but happily find a home here.
I love the little jokes, I love the community, I love the chants, everybody gets involved. It's like a party on a Saturday afternoon.
Our relationship with players is quite good. We know them on a first name basis, they know our name. It's so nice to be involved in the club the way we are. You feel very close to the club with a non-league club rather than you would supporting a Premier League team.
You would think that, you know, they would go to a team or someone that's a lot higher football than us. I don't know why they've latched on to us, but it is unusual. You know, wherever we go in the county, that they're known now, and we love it.
Strangely, when you're the chairman of Eastbourne Town, regardless of what your beliefs are when you first arrived at the job, you look at this place and the history, and the most important thing is you don't want anything to go wrong when you're here, rather than your first thought being, I really think we ought to get promoted 3 times in a row. The one thing I feel very strongly is there's not a prescribed way to support Eastbourne Town. I just welcome everyone and want them to enjoy the experience together.
The main focus of the group is to just be open to everybody, even if it looks a bit mental. We're just here to have fun, maybe let off a few smokes, and to be passionate about somewhere that we live.
The referee today is Mr. Andrews, assistants are Mr. Baker and Mr. McKenzie.